Hello, everyone, and I know we have about a minute before 2 o'clock, but as always, I like to get in here, get situated, and answer any questions that may arise prior to the show starting. That way, I'm not bothered by that. Um, Today's show will be why selling your house on your own in 2021 is a mistake. This is known as FSBO in our industry, for sale by owner. And you may have seen some of this if you're driving down the road and you see a red sign that says for sale by owner. Then that means that the owner of that home is attempting to sell the home themselves. So the stats on that vary widely, but it is understood that about 96% or 94 to 96% of all transactions, all home sales will be done by a real estate agent. So that leaves maybe 6% that actually get sold by the owner themselves. But that's what we'll talk about today, is why selling your house on your own in 2021 is a mistake. I will say, if you like these videos, please make sure you subscribe. That way you get instant access to them. You'll know exactly when they're about to start, so that you can jump on board. We do this live every Sunday at 2 o'clock. And before we get to why selling your house on your own is a mistake, we're first going to touch on why it's important to price your house right today. So, my name is David Hiddle. I'm a realtor with United Real Estate Louisville here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I am honored to be able to come to you today and hopefully provide some insight, provide some information, and maybe even educate or teach you what you need to know in the real estate market. So first, before we get to why selling your house is a mistake, we're going to first talk about why it's important to price your house right today. So that may be one issue that I see amongst for sale by owners the most, is that they have an idea of what their home is worth to them in their heart. But a home buyer who may drive by the house and look at the house and may get to go inside the house, if they contact the owner is willing to do that, or they contact a realtor and we do what is called a one-time showing agreement. But this is one of the major problems that I see with for sale by owners, and it is the lack of data, the lack of research. You can go to a website that starts with a Z, and it will give you their estimate on what they believe your home is worth. And a lot of for sale by owners will go with that number, but that company, that website, will not even pay you that amount that they say your home is estimated to be at. So when you hire a real estate agent, or you have a real estate agent come to your home or do a virtual call to go over or have a listing presentation, as we call it, they should first be telling you what your home is worth, what the value of your home is worth, based not on some website giving you a estimate, but based on RVMs, which is the Realtor Value Market, or the AVM, which is the Average Value Market. They may even run comps. I run comps for my clients, which I go and I explore and I research homes that are comparable to the one they're trying to sell, and I can come up with a home valuation based on that, which is great because that is the best way to know what your home is worth, comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges when it comes to your home. So, why it is so important to price your house right today is because of a variety of reasons. One of which is there are a ton of home buyers in the market right now. There's a ton of home buyers in the market, which is unusual. Normally, in the winter months, as it starts to get cooler, homeowners take their homes off the market, and home buyers, seeing that there are not a lot of homes to look at, start to pull out of the market as well. It usually is the point in time, it's the season where home builders, those building brand new construction homes, have an opportunity to catch up with the inventory. However, this year, or end of 2020 going now into 2021, is different because of the pandemic. The pandemic caused a lot of home buyers to pause and stop. It caused a lot of home sellers to pause and stop. And now they have to go somewhere. They're still looking to buy or sell a home, but they've got to do it the right way, I suppose you could say. They want to do it. But they want precautions to be in place. So, again, why it's important to price your house right today. According to the National Association of Realtors, existing home prices nationwide are forecast to increase 4.5% in 2021. So if your home is currently worth $100,000, at a 4.5% increase, your home would be worth $104,500. You can do the math on that. The chief economist for Realtor.com has a different point of view. That's Danielle Hale. She expects price gains to ease somewhat in 2021 and end 5.7% above 2020 levels. So think about that: $100,000 house, 5.7% gain. That means your house went from $100,000 to $105,700. She says, however, that she sees prices decelerating steadily through the spring and summer, which is important. That is the home buying and selling season. Spring and summer is where we see the most home sales. If prices start to fall in the spring and summer, then we may see a better opportunity for home buyers out there. And we hope that interest rates don't start to go up in that same season. What is the most important thing about pricing your home or pricing your house when you're looking to sell is that there's a happy medium. It's called the market value. The market value is what I provide whenever I run comps. I provide a home value based on what the market around that property or around that potential listing is doing, comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. If a FSBO or if a home seller decides to price their home over that market value, then three things happen. One, the home will sit on the market longer, because if you have a neighborhood, picture a neighborhood, and your house is for sale and your neighbor's house is for sale and there's other houses for sale in the neighborhood, and you live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and your neighbor's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and there's another neighbor that's a 3 and 2 and a 3 and 2, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, your house is going to sit there longer. If your house is for $250,000 but somebody else is at $225,000 and they're the same house, why on earth would a home buyer say, Yeah, I'll buy the $250,000 one versus the 225. It's all about what the market value is, not what you believe in your heart the property should be worth. Because normally a homeowner's expectation of price is a lot higher than what the market value has to say. And we see that a lot in the for sale by owners. The for sale by owners will price their home high, and their explanation for that is, well, I don't have to sell. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's okay for a for sale by owner. They are not spending money on advertising normally. They're not spending money on marketing. They're not spending money on advertisements. They're not having to deal with the day in and day out stuff of what a realtor or a real estate agent has to do. But when you hire that realtor is paying for advertising. They're paying for professional photographs to be taken. They're paying for professional appraisals, professional measurements to be done of the home. They're paying for that stuff out of pocket before the home even sells. So with a real estate agent, if the home doesn't sell, then they're out their advertising costs, they're out their marketing costs, they're out their photography, they're out their appraisal, they're out their measurement. So the realtor tends to work a lot harder at getting a home sold than a regular for sale by owner would. Regular for sale by owner probably has another job they have to deal with. They cannot be there. They cannot answer the phone any moment of any day like the realtor does. The realtor does all that. That is another good reason to hire a real estate agent, to hire a realtor, is that they are the professional. They are available when a potential home buyer needs them. Another reason for not pricing the home over market value is that when you do decide that, okay, we're getting down to the wire, we need to start selling this house, we need to get it going. Why is my realtor not doing anything? Well, your realtor's not the problem. The problem was the price. Price drops, so when you come down on your price, send the wrong message to buyers. Buyers start to think, well, what's wrong with that house? They put it on the market up here, but now they've come down to here. What's wrong with the house? Maybe there's something wrong. That may dissuade them from even wanting to go and look at that house. Here in the real estate world, we understand that the first 2 weeks that a home is on the market are critical. Absolutely critical. That is the time period where you are most likely to get that home sold, the first 2 weeks. You have to think about it this way. The average days on market nationwide are just 22. So a home gets put on the market, and 22 days later, they have a signed contract, accepted signed contract, and the home is on its way to being sold. Here in Louisville, the Louisville Lexington area, we're about 32 days. So just over a month from start to off the market. And a majority of homes that we're seeing, if the home is beautiful, it's been upgraded, it has stayed upgraded, it's been renovated, whatever, selling in days, if not hours, depending on how that price is. Is that price at market value, or is it above market value? Finally, for not putting your home over value, it deters potential buyers because it is priced too high. You think about this. If you're a home buyer, you've done the right thing. You went to your lender, you got pre-approved. Say you were pre-approved for $185,000. $185,000. Well, in today's market, your realtor's probably going to put you right at that 185 mark in a real estate search, because it is very unlikely that a home that's valued above 185 is going to come down to meet your 185. It's very rare today. Home sellers are getting top dollar. So if your home buyer was pre-approved at 185, they're more than likely not going to see $190,000 houses or $195,000 houses or $200,000 houses. If your home was if your market value of your home was 185, but you wanted to price it at $200,000, then that client, that home buyer at 185 is never ever going to see that house. Likely, more than likely. It's never going to see that house. So it deters potential buyers because the price is too high. What we want, what we need to sell your home is to be right there at market value. It may not necessarily be the value you believe the home is worth, but it is the value of the home based on other homes like it in your neighborhood and in your area. But the opposite is true as well. What if you undersell your house? What if your house, your market value of your house is 185,000, but you decide to put it on the market for 170,000? That same thing happens. Number one, you can lose value. What if somebody comes in and they offer 175,000? That's what you listed it at. Are you going to then reject that offer, say, no, we don't want 175, we want more? Well, why didn't you put it on the market for more? You're only asking for 175,000. If you wanted 185,000, why didn't you put it on the market for 185,000? So you have the potential to lose value in your home. It also decreases your future buying power. So if you undervalued the home, it's worth 185, but you put it on the market for 175 and you sell it at 175, you lost $10,000 worth of future buying power. You could use that additional $10,000 for a down payment on your next home. That could be bad. That is really bad. And finally, very similar to the pricing it over, it deters potential buyers because they think something is wrong with the house. If the home buyer is working with a great realtor who can sit there and say, okay, well, they've priced the home at 175,000, but it's worth 185,000. There must be at least $10,000 that's wrong with this house. They're automatically going to say, is this house being sold as is? Does it need repairs? Does it need upgrades? If your house has been upgraded, if you've kept up with it, you've kept up with it good, then your home should match market value. And you should listen to your realtor when they say, here is the market value for your home, because they have done the research. Pricing the home at market value is the best way possible to sell the home immediately. Again, those first 2 weeks are crucial. Anything beyond those 2 weeks, you start running into what's wrong with the house, why is the house not sold, maybe the price is too high, price is too high, even if it isn't, even if it's at market value, it just hasn't sold, nobody wanted to make an offer. I will say for 2020, my quickest sales on perfect homes that were right at market value, the first one sold in about 11 days, and the second one sold in 9 days. And I had a third one in there that sold at 9 hours, but it was a very, very cheap property. But pricing it right means that you sell it in weeks rather than months, potentially years. And again, the for sale by owner, the owner who's living in the house, not in any big hurry, they don't have anything to lose. They stuck a sign in their yard, maybe stuck one down on the corner, maybe put it on that website that starts with a Z because it was free. Why not? And they just let it sit. And maybe sometimes they'll answer the phone if somebody calls. They just hope it's not a realtor because they don't want to deal with them. They put it on the market themselves. They don't want to have to deal with a realtor. but they also don't know the value that the realtor brings. So let's get to the main course. The reason why you have decided to watch this video. Why selling your house on your own in 2021 is a mistake. And it's a mistake anytime, whether it's 2021, 2020, 2019, 2022, whenever. Selling your house yourself is a bad idea. Give you an example. Your house, more than likely, the home you live in, if you're a homeowner, is more than likely your most valuable asset. Normally, your house is more expensive than your car. Normally, your house is worth more than your bank account. Most of the time, your home is worth more than your 401k or your stocks, your bonds, whatever you happen to have. Normally, the home is the most expensive and the most valuable asset that you own, that you have. And every time you make a mortgage payment, you are increasing the equity or the profit, the value in your home. Your home's value increases because you owe less and it's now worth more. That's your equity. So if you are dealing with something like that, why would you not trust a professional to handle that situation? Think about going to court. Say somebody has sued you for the cost of your house. Say your home is worth $200,000. Somebody has sued you for $200,000. Are you just gonna waltz into court with your suit and tie and say, "Your Honor, he has no suit here. He can't sue me for blah blah blah." You're gonna go in there without a professional beside you. You're gonna go into court in a process where you could lose $200,000. You're gonna go into court without a lawyer. Same thing goes for your house. If you are thinking of selling your home and your home is worth $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, are you going to try to do that yourself? But let's go through this. Why selling your house is a mistake. Selling it on your own is a mistake. Selling it with a realtor, professional, good idea. Selling it on your home, a mistake. Here's why. Your safety. If this coronavirus has not taught us anything, it's that we cannot have strangers just waltzing through our home any hour of the day, anytime they want. Can't have strangers walking through our house. And if you do have strangers walking through your house, what type of precautions are they taking if you're selling the home yourself? If you're selling the home yourself, maybe you stay there while they come out to visit your home, which is awkward. I'll tell you that. Even if you're just out in the front lawn, that's still awkward. It's awkward to have the seller there. It makes it where you can't communicate with your agent, can't communicate with other parties that are looking, that are interested in this property, that may be buying it. But your safety is a concern. So when you hire a realtor will put a lockbox on your door. Sometimes it's just a regular lockbox. Sometimes it's one of the big, bulky, professional ones. But the only people that have access to the information to get them inside of the home will be other real estate agents. So here's a safety prioritization right here. The only people that are able to go into your home, your asset, your valuable asset, the only people that are going to be able to go into that home are going to be accompanied by real estate agents, because that then shifts the liability. If something gets damaged, something gets broken while an agent is showing the home, then that agent and his clients are liable. And we know who they are because they went through the box. They scheduled an appointment. They went to your home and something got broken. But that's not even part of your safety. Here in Louisville, realtors have been charged with making sure that our clients and ourselves are masked. Other agents require gloves. And you, as the home seller, can mandate those things through your realtor. Some other agents have the booty machine, where you just stick your shoed foot into a hole and it puts a booty on your shoe so that you can walk through the house without tracking anything through. It's amazing. But that is what is great about working with a realtor. Also, another thing with open houses. I know some agents have stopped doing open houses because of this pandemic. But with open houses, our board has required that if we have open houses, only one set of family members can go through at a time. So other ones will wait outside until till the first family is done, and then the next family or next couple or next potential buyers can come in and look. Regulating the number of people in your home at one time to ensure proper sanitation during and after showing. But another thing that you can't really do if you're not advertising, if you're not marketing a home like a realtor will, is virtual tours. If I have a buyer who doesn't want to leave the house but wants to see a home, they can contact me, and I, as a realtor, can go and do a virtual tour of the home, of the potential home that they like. Then that way it's just the realtor that's going through the home and not necessarily a whole group of people. Real estate professionals are equipped to follow the latest industry standards and recommendations to help protect you and your potential buyers. Number two, an online strategy is a must to attract buyers. Recent studies from the National Association of Realtors have shown that even before COVID, the first step 43% of all buyers took when looking for a home was to search online. Now, selling the home yourself, you may be on that Z word. You may be on that Z website for free because they'll let you put it up there for free. They don't mind taking your information and having it on their website. However, throughout the process, that number jumps to 97%. So by the time that a home buyer has found the home they're looking for online, the number jumps to 97% by the time they've gotten with a realtor and all that. Most real estate agents have developed a strong internet and social media strategy. I know I have, to promote the sale of your house. So when you allow me as a realtor, David Hiddle with United Real Estate Louisville, when you allow me the honor of listing your home for sale, I have developed over the course of my career a 29-point checklist that I give a copy to my client. I keep a copy for myself, and I check off things as we go. But I have a 29-point checklist for selling your house. If another realtor is looking to sell your house and they say, well, we're going to put it on the internet, we're going to put it on Facebook, we're going to put it on Twitter, we're going to put it on everywhere, blah, 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 but they don't give you the checklist of what they're going to do, so that you can follow along, I do. One of the strategies I have developed to help you understand what all I am going to do. And if we price your home right at market value, we don't even have to go through all those 29 steps in order to get your home sold. It's just a matter of pricing it correctly and advertising, marketing, strategy. Number 3, there are too many negotiations. Selling your home yourself. You don't think about this. Think about the TV shows. I think about the TV shows. They go and they show potential buyers 3 houses and they pick one. My very first client ever went and saw 8 houses in one day and picked the last one. Another client I had, we went and saw 16 houses in one day. And they wound up picking like 13 or 14. So it's not like on TV. It's not like on TV. The realtor doesn't give you 3 houses and you pick one. In actuality, realtors can show hundreds of houses to potential buyers before they pick the right one. But here are just a few people you'll need to negotiate with if you decide to sell your house yourself. The buyer. Easy one. Who wants the best deal possible? They don't want to pay the price you're asking, especially if it's over market value. Especially if they have an agent. That agent says, that house is way overvalued. I don't know what they're thinking. The buyer's agent. So on top of dealing with the buyer who wants to get the best deal possible, you get to negotiate with the agent who says your house is overvalued. It's not worth $250,000. It may be worth $200,000, but nowhere near $250,000. You'll get to deal with the inspection company. So once you actually have a buyer and you've signed a contract, you've accepted an offer, the buyer's going to want to have a home inspection. So they're going to send in a third-party home inspector to go through the house, and they work for the buyer. So then you have to negotiate with them. Well, no, that isn't broken. It's just a little out of place. Oh, well, sorry. Looks broken to me. Or they're going to say, well, your plumbing system is not looking too good. The roof isn't looking too good. Your electrical box, that all needs to be redone. So you get to negotiate on that. Then you go back and say, well, I don't want to pay for it. Or who's paying for it? Well, normally the seller pays for repairs before the sale closes. Well, if you're selling the home yourself, maybe you don't want to do that. Well, you may have just lost your buyer. Back to the drawing board. Then you get to negotiate with the appraiser, because if a buyer is having to take out a loan on your house or on a house to buy your house, then guess what? You have another person. You have the buyer, the buyer's agent, the home inspector, and then you have an appraiser who doesn't work for the buyer. He works for the buyer's lender. Come through and say, well, your house isn't worth $250,000. It's worth $200,000, which is probably what the agent said in the first place. So then you negotiate again, because the home buyer has one of 2 options. They can spend the additional money over what their lender says the home is worth, or over what their lender is willing to pay for the home, but they still have to pay a down payment, closing costs, and all that. So again, get to the appraisal part, you may have lost your buyer now. As part of their training, agents are taught how to negotiate every aspect of the real estate transaction and how to mediate the emotions felt by buyers looking to make what is probably the largest purchase of their lives. Absolutely. Number 4, you won't know if your purchaser is qualified for a mortgage. So for most of my properties that I have listed, if a buyer is not pre-approved, I'm not showing them the house. Now, the buyer's agent may decide to go and show them the house. But if they make an offer, I want to see a pre-approval letter. And we won't even look at their offer without a pre-approval letter, if possible. So if you try to sell the home yourself, you may have random everyday people saying, yeah, I like that house. I would love to buy it. Well, start the negotiations. Can they even afford to buy it? Mm-hmm. For sale by owning is becoming more difficult from a legal standpoint. The documentation that is involved in the selling process is growing dramatically as more and more disclosures and regulations become mandatory. So you think about it. You're like, okay, I want to go sell my house myself. You go out to the store, you buy a sign, you stick it in the yard. Yep, I'm done. Maybe you answer a few phone calls when they call. Again, hoping they're not realtors because you don't want to deal with them anyway. You don't want to pay their commission. Well, when you do finally, you've got an agent that says, I have clients that like your home. You sign a little bit of paperwork letting them come in to see the home. And then they really like it. And they want to make an offer. But before they make an offer, the agent's going to have you sign a seller's disclosure. So you're then going to have to go and check off what's wrong with the house. Is there anything wrong with the house? Do you know of anything being wrong with the house? Lead-based paint disclosures. You're going to sign paperwork saying that the buyer's agent does not work for you, that you are all by yourself in this transaction, and that you understand the consequences of that, and that you understand that you're unrepresented. It's becoming a lot harder because of the litigious society we live in. And the agent acts as a third party to help the seller avoid legal jeopardy. This is one of the major reasons why the percentage of people for sale by owning has dropped from 19% to 8% over the last 20 years. And finally, and probably the most important of all of them, other than maybe your safety is important, but the most important to a lot of people is you net more money when using an agent. Many homeowners think they'll save the real estate commission by selling on their own. Realize that the main reason buyers look at for sale by owners is because they also believe they can save the real estate agent's commission. So you think about that. You think about that for a minute. Normally, in a normal transaction here in Louisville and the Kentucky area, the seller pays the commission. So if the seller is working with an agent, then they'll pay their agent, and they will also pay the buyer's agent who came and brought the buyer to their home and got it sold. So they'll pay both those commissions. So when they go to for sale by owner, they're thinking, okay, I won't have to pay a seller's agent to sell my home. So they believe they'll save at least half. But the buyer's agent who brought the buyer is going to be asking the seller to pay him a commission or pay her a commission because they don't want to tell their buyer that the buyer has to pay the commission because the buyer may not decide to look at that house if they have to pay the commission because normally the seller pays the commission. Why should they? So you decide that you'll pay the buyer's commission. Okay. But the buyer's agent doesn't work for you. The buyer's agent's going to try to get as good a deal for their client as possible, which means you're probably going to lose a little bit of money on the deal too. Not to mention the home inspection, the appraisal, where it might knock you down even more. And then if you walk away from that deal, then you're facing other issues. The study from collateral analytics found that the difference in price between a for sale by owner and an agent listed home was an average of 6%. And one of the main reasons for the price difference is effective exposure. Quote, properties listed with a broker that is a member of the local MLS will be listed online with all other participating broker websites, marketing the home to a much larger buyer population. And those MLS properties generally offer compensation to agents who represent buyers, incentivizing them to show and sell the property, and again, potentially enlarging the buyer pool. So what does that mean? Well, if you're selling the home yourself, then you may be on one website. If you have a real estate agent sell the home for you, they list it onto what is called the MLS, or the multiple listing service. That home is then visible on a whole bunch of other websites, including that one that you've put it on. So think about it. When you are wanting to sell a home, the number one thing that you need to look for is that your home is at market value. At market value. Priced at market value, listed at market value, comparing apples to apples, oranges to oranges, to make sure that the property is at market value. The second thing is that you have to have an effective marketing strategy. You have to have that home online everywhere possible in order to get it sold in those first 2 weeks where the water is hot, where the buyers are looking. And thinking about it that way, the more websites that your home is listed on, the more eyeballs see the home, the more potential you have to receive more offers. And on average today, a home listed with a realtor averages 3 offers, meaning you may have bidding wars, which only increase the value. So think about it. Your market value of your home is $250,000, but you have 3 offers come in, and one is at 250, one's at like 255, and one's at like 258. And then you look at the contingencies that are involved. You decipher out which one is the best offer. You may, in the long run, wind up with a home sold for higher than you even put it on the market for. That is the magic. That is the appeal. That is the awesomeness of working with a realtor. So here's what I'll say. If you are in the Louisville, Lexington area, or somewhere else in the country, or anywhere in the world, and you are wanting to buy or sell a home, please reach out to me. My phone number is available in the description of this video. It's also available right there. You can visit my website at shopkentuckyhomes, all one word, .com. And I hope that 2021 is an amazing year for you, and that if you're not in a home, that you become a homeowner in 2021. And that if you are currently a homeowner looking to move into a bigger home or a smaller home, I pray that 2021 is the year that you make your moves, because there's a lot of positive things in this market today that makes that very appealing. I thank you all for watching. I hope to see you back here next week, 2 p.m. Have a great day.